I want to do two other things. So before Mr. Smith and Brother Miles approach the mic, I want to have Mark talk about various services that already exist in Oakland, and then Ty, I saw you got your hand too, and I also want you to address ways in which perhaps mental health or counseling services targeted towards youth who have experienced trauma or are currently going through post-traumatic stress, how those services can be marketed so that they're a bit more palatable based upon what Octavia said. If you just call it mental health, students may already have a negative connotation associated with that. So first Mark, and then Tanya, and then we'll have Nelson and then Thomas.
Good evening. So I'm from Oakland, here my whole life, and just started working for the City of Oakland Office of Parks and Recreation a few years ago, and in working with the projects and programs that we have throughout the city, I learned more about the different activities and recreational resources that the city offers daily. In listening to the expressions about, there needs to be more resources for teens to do after school and stuff like that. I'm not sure if young people would be interested in boating or anything like that, but Lane Merrick has awesome boating classes. The Jack London Aquatic Center has kayaking. You can go up to the Walking Middle Park. It's a really beautiful park. There's tons of things to do there. We have 24 recreation centers around the city that are public and open for not only you to use the resources that are there, but also if you have innovative ideas of different things that we can do together, different programs that we can generate, that's open as well. So I definitely hear you, and there is several initiatives to get those types of activities here in Oakland. They're building actually called the East Oakland Sports Complex is at they used to call it Brookfield Park. Ira Jenkins over on 98, right on 98 and E, and they're going to have a natatorium that should be done in probably about a year and a half. Indoor track, two swimming pools and things like that. So there are some initiatives, these things they do cost, they're very capital intensive. However, the more civic engagement that we get around these issues, like Dr. He was talking about earlier, the teams got together and they did a big push from things to the basement, and that kind of thing is really awesome. So I welcome anyone who would like to work on getting a palladium type deal for Oakland. That would be awesome, and I would love to work with anybody who would want to work on that. So,
So Tanya, you had a question and also about the marketing of mental health services.
I just want to comment on how to package these services. I think that there are some really good things that you can do to help with grief or therapeutic types of things such as art therapy, music, poetry. I had an opportunity to meet with Maria Shriver yesterday, Governor Sportsman's wife, and we were actually at the hospital where my son passed away, and we were trying to promote the hospice to her and try to elicit some legislation to provide more funding to this type of program. And one thing she was really impressed with is up at the house, there's a wall that has been created for families to create tiles who have lost loved ones. And I actually made a tile. She was really impressed with that tile. And I had to let her know that, that tile meant so much to me because it was a way of me expressing my grief and getting my grief out. And I think that a lot of students in Oakland are very artistic, and they just don't have a venue to get that out. So I think that that's one way that it can be packaged. I think the students can promote it to their friends who they know are in need of these types of services and say, hey, we have a program that has, or art therapy, you should come check it out. Or, you know, we have a program where you can come and do poetry. You can write poetry and then, you know, perhaps you can have a night where they can share the poetry in an open mic type of session. Or music, you know, if anybody is feel that teaching someone how to play an instrument, that's another way that it can be taxed. It doesn't have to necessarily be, you know, let's sit down and talk every time. I think that just get them in here and then have them express their feelings through a type of art therapy, and then you can move it into more of a counseling session where they feel comfortable with you now that they have experienced that type of activity with you.
Mark?
That's something earlier I forgot to say. What I run across a lot of times just from working with young folks in Oakland is sometimes folks don't want to come out of their immediate neighborhoods to do things like, you know, we do, I saw Will at the dinner at 6 program over in Hill Village, and some of those folks over there, some of them won't even go to East Oakland, won't even go to Lake Mary, you know, never even really want to, you know, leave out of that area, you know, and I think that's another problem that we definitely have to address as a city, as a people, you know, what are these issues that are keeping folks in little radius.
I think that the business of children is play. The business of children is play. And play is about expressing energy. Depression basically is all about energy. Turned inward, expressed outwardly, sometimes not appropriately. In any event, however you look at it, this is about energy. And physical activity is the best way to release energy. I think what we did decades ago, about 25 years ago, started removing physical activity from our lives. Totally. Both on the adult level and definitely on child level and in the school. So you just don't see it. We have a lot of pent-up energy. Then on top of that comes life and all of its issues. And so you have to go way down. People who stay enclosed and isolated in neighborhoods are people who are trying to connect to something that's familiar because they're holding on. You move freely when your energy can flow freely. You'll go across town, you'll go out of state, you'll even have desires to travel through a magazine or have to get on a plane. But you won't want to do any of that if your energy is exploding, depressed, and weighted down. So I really appreciate what I'm hearing about physical activity efforts of Oakland and the mind and the activities that people have in mind, because there was a time when our urban city was full of venues for activity, and we really do have to bring that back. We really do. To be healthy, we have to.
I know, as we're, you know, so you're on, and then we were driving past, my wife and our children, we were driving past Lake Merritt a couple of days ago, Sunday after lunch, and under the freeway underpass by Lake Merritt used to have the hottest dirt bike track.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I mean, I was like 8, 9, 10. Now it's just, I think it's a parking lot. But again, I mean, we used to ride our bikes from the 20s all the way down, and then now that I'm grown up, I think, man, we used to ride that far. But again, you know, now that kind of stuff is gone. It's gone. And I remember this so well because I got injured. All right, Nelson.
I just wanted to address a few things, and primarily my questions are going to be directed more towards the adults here, because I think that they may have a little bit of knowledge to come up to find solutions. So one, I grew up in Oakland too, and I remember things like Festival at the Lake. You know, I was deep in park and recreation. My mom was a recreation manager for 20 years. She worked in Market Park. So everything I did was through park and rec. And during that time, like in the 80s and in the early 90s, park and rec